Hey guys, I am so happy you're here today for so many reasons. Firstly, I want to show you around the kitchen. It's decorated for Christmas, but also since you're here, I'm probably not going to dive into the panettone that's in my pantry. Do you know those big Italian Christmas cakes that are sort of puffy and they kind of have raisins and stuff in them? Well, I find them completely irresistible, and one arrived on my door the other day, and I cannot help but like totally tearing it apart. So it's in there, and I know I won't do it while you're here. So let's keep talking and stay as long as you'd like. Um, we're going to take a tour all around. I'm going to tell you about this recipe box that I found and give you some decorating ideas, and we'll have some fun. So before we dive into the Christmas decorations, I wanted to show you this box of recipes that I found at the Rose Bowl. One of the recipes we're going to use for Christmas dinner, just the whole thing is so charming. I had to share it with you. So anyway, I'm keeping it out for display here. The colors work great with my kitchen anyway, but there's no name on this. So maybe you guys could leave a comment and we could give this lady a name who made this. So it's all organized, but breads, cakes, candies, cookies, goes on, desserts, chicken, eggs, pie, and each card is typed. Some of them have special different fonts. On some of the cards, she says where she got the recipe, like this one that we're going to use for Christmas, the cranberry clafouti. She has Town and Country in the corner, so I'm assuming she got it from Town and Country magazine. Other cards are in like scripty type fonts. I didn't even know they had such a thing. And it's just, I can't imagine the hours that this took and the care and the effort. And on some of the cards, she has the places that she took these recipes and who was over when she made it. It's such a treasure. So I'm so happy to have it. And if you can think of a name for this wonderful lady, leave me a suggestion in the comments. Maybe we can come up with a name for her. So let's move on to some of the Christmas decorations. I really practiced restraint this year in the kitchen, in the palette, and also the amount of decorations. But I think that it really still makes a really nice holiday statement. So the palette for my whole house for Christmas this year is the metallics, gold and silver, grays, creams, and just a little pop of red. But I didn't pop the red in the kitchen. I just kind of wanted to keep it a little calmer and have it flow with the outside, which is obviously a lot of whites and blacks and the green grass. So I use a lot of greens throughout the house to bring in that color and also obviously for the season. Even if you're having a fake tree, I suggest buying some real greens or just clipping them from your yard. They last for forever and they really look beautiful and they're great fill in arrangements. So here, we have this big trophy and just a few branches really fills it in. The kale is also a wonderful option. Looks like a giant rose to my eye anyway. And then I love this single one by itself. And you can fluff them open, but they also last for such a long time. And I would go through all of your greens when you first get them, spread them all out. You might want to rinse them off, but you'll find little treasures in there. Like this one I found with this little pine cone on it. So this can just sit by itself. And I love it tucked in here with the antlers. It really gives that sort of foresty woodland feel, which is kind of what I've been going for. So yeah, here's a little restraint. My Charlie Brown tree. It's so cute. I found it at an estate sale in its original box. It's a tinsel tree, and I just love it. And I was deciding where to put it, and I just put it on this stool just for the time being. I said I was taking it outside, and I just fell in love with it here. And then I gave it this little scarf. This is a Ralph Lauren scarf that I accidentally washed, so it got sort of that boiled wool feel to it. And so here it is. Now it's the tree skirt for Charlie Brown. And I said just one little ornament and it brings in the gold and the silver and I absolutely love it. In years past, we've put the big platinum faux Christmas tree that we have in the kitchen. And I really loved that. But I have this chair here now and everybody loves to sit in the chair. So my family voted to have a tree out in the barn and no tree here. So I decided we'd keep Charlie here and I love it. So here's the chair where the Christmas tree was the last couple of years, but it's true, I really do like the chair. Like last time my parents. My husband was sitting here watching the game, and the girls were doing homework, and then we went into dinner, and it was just really nice. So he couldn't sit on the Christmas tree, so no tree, just the Charlie Brown. But I'm really okay with that. And so I've decorated the hutch a little bit with the greenery to bring that in. So it's a cedar garland that's really inexpensive, and I have a live one, so it's like $1 a foot or something like that. And then I've used boxwoods in those champagne buckets. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you can really keep boxwoods inside for quite some time, throughout the year. You just don't want to let them dry out completely. So, have them in a pot where there's some good drainage, and, just keep a check on them so they don't get super dry. But they should do fine. And then when they kind of outgrow the pot that they're in, I usually just keep them in the nursery pot and then slip them in something else, and they're getting sort of root bound. Then it's time to plant them in the garden. So it's great. You don't waste your money on just having something cut or something that is going to be a house plant that doesn't live too long. So I highly recommend boxwoods inside. These are Japanese boxwoods, and they seem to be pretty hardy, no matter what your zone. So give those a try, and they really look great at Christmas time. So I've got two of those in there, and then I just put a tiny little bit of greens in one of the white pitchers, and I dressed up the chair. So you can see I've layered it. So we have this little black throw, which is kind of like a faux animal skin. It's just a small one, like 2 by 3 feet, and then a Mongolian pillow, and then one of the grain sack pillows from Bespoke Decor. I love this one with the gray stripes. And so I'm just feeling like it's a really cozy little area here. A cyclamen. Now, if you have those inside this time of year, they do like to be cold. So this one really likes to be by the door. It's fine there. And if it gets super sunny, I'll just move it over. It's a paper mache reindeer I've had for years. And this is that Longaberger basket that I've painted. So nothing's changed all that much in the kitchen, but I've definitely brought in the flavor of the season. I've brought in the palette that I'm using for the holidays and worked it all around the room. I love to decorate this little nook in the stairwell. So this is the back staircase, and I usually have a little something here. Um, so I decided to try the crock, and then, if you have one crock, you might as well have another crock. So now I filled them with boxwoods, and I really like the way this looks. They're smaller boxwoods. The 5 gallons didn't fit, so they're 1 gallon. So I filled it in with just some material to sort of cover the dirt and whatnot. But I love the way that's bringing in the greenery, and that's just a fun thing with my boots filled with some greens that were just clipped from the bottom of the Christmas tree. A staple decoration around my house at the holiday time is a bowl full of ornaments. You could literally just pour some ornaments into a bowl and call it a day. It's so festive on its own. So that's what I've done here, and I have it throughout the house as well. It's also great when you have really pretty heavy ornaments that don't fit on your tree. They're too heavy for the branches. So that's what's happened here. I have some lightweight ones just for fill, but these beautiful ones were from Restoration Hardware a few years ago, and they really are too heavy for my tree. So just tucked in a couple of pine cones here to soften the edges, and it's in this pretty pedestal bowl that I thrifted. And it's the wow moment in this vignette. I've got some twine, a couple of French books, and then this little bottle brush tree that I got at Rite Aid. Do you guys have Rite Aid where you are? It's like CVS. It's a pharmacy, and they have. I love going down those aisles of that like somewhat cheesy Christmas decor. Just thinking like, oh, if I spray painted that, what it would look like. So this bottle brush tree is so dark green, it's almost black, which is great for my palette. But the bottom was sort of this really obviously plastic base. So I painted it gold with Krylon little touch-up paint. It comes in those little glass jars. Took like 2 minutes, and complete transformation, don't you think? So I love the way that looks there. And it creates this really pretty vignette that's pulling in all the colors from my palette. A really simple, easy centerpiece, particularly in a kitchen where it's a working space, is to use a bread bowl or some sort of long platter, something that can has a little rim to hold in the ornaments, You could just put some ornaments in and then tuck in some greens. It can't be simpler than that. And you don't even have to go overboard like I did here and put the greens on the edges. You could just have it right here in your dough bowl or in your platter and lift it off when people want to use the space for dining or homework or whatever's going on. I put two runners here to add to the coziness. So the layering definitely does that. So I've got a linen runner and then I just have this piece of fabric that I folded. I bought about 1.5 yards of this gray and black plaid, and I've been using it all over. If you follow my blog, you probably saw it in the fall. I used it on the table. So this was so easy to create. I think the idea around the holidays is to, yes, be festive, yes, pull out your decorations, but don't make it a burden and a chore. Have fun with it. You can create something really beautiful really quickly. You just have sort of have a formula in mind. And my go-to is pretty ornaments in a bowl, and this couldn't be easier. So thanks so much for coming by today. I resisted this long, so I think I am going to go have some panettone. And if you have anything at home that's a sweet treat, indulge as well. Have a Merry Christmas, and if you're enjoying the video, subscribe.